In this video, I had the pleasure of interviewing Pablo Picker. Pablo is a local developer here in Somerville, Massachusetts, and he shares his story about what it took to turn this single-story retail building into a $2.3 million project. He also talks about what it takes to make your first $1 million as a developer. And I believe that there's a lot he shares that experienced developers will gain a lot from, but even aspiring developers will learn how to get started, how to execute, and how to exit for a profit. Now let's get into it. So I'm here with Pablo Picker. What's up, Pablo? How you doing?
How are you? Well, good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Pablo is a Somerville-based real estate developer, and as we know, real estate is local, and that's one of the things I really commend about you, Pablo. You're committed to really mastering your market, man. You've done a great job at it.
Well, I appreciate that.
Awesome. What project is this for you? What number is this? Have you got a bunch entitled?
Yeah.
How many projects have you gotten approved here in Somerville so far?
So we've done 4 projects approved in Somerville.
Nice.
This one is one of 2 under construction.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So the first question I want to ask you, Pablo, relative to my audience, because we got a lot of aspiring developers out there, realtors, GCs. You started as a GC and transitioned into this, correct?
I did, yeah. GCing for almost 20 years.
Good stuff, man. And now you're a developer, so it shows it's possible.
It does, yes.
Yep.
It's possible, yeah.
Awesome. What advice would you give to someone who wanted to make their first $1 million as a real estate developer?
So I think the best advice that I can give, if we're thinking numbers and that's the goal, I think is to always try not to bite off everything at once, right? I think that the key with development is steady. These are like long process, and it might not be all in your first deal, right? So if I was thinking at the beginning, okay, I want to make my first $1 million in development, I'm gonna really focus more on the project. What can I handle? Less about the finances at the beginning, and say, hey, if I can get 200 here, 400 the next one, 500, then you start working your way up. I think it's a mistake, especially at this level, if you're starting to be like, I got to get $1 million. Where's that project that's going to give me $1 million?
I love that.
That's the best advice I would give.
Great advice. Compound it up.
Exactly.
Not look at one deal, but look at a strategy that's going to get you the $1 million as a real estate developer.
Exactly.
Awesome. The second question a lot of my folks want to know is, how do you source deals like this in markets that are super competitive like Somerville?
Yeah. I mean, I think, you're going to have all the same, like if you're flipping, right, you're going to have the same kind of sourcing, whether it might be things that you just see right on MLS that come up. It might be things that are off market. As you start getting going, people are going to start calling you. People are going to start saying, hey, I got a cousin, I got a brother, I got somebody in the family who's selling it. So I think as you start making those networks, those things are going to come. I think initially, everything is all in the deal, right? So you might just find these. I mean, for this one, for example, I found this just right on MLS. And what I saw in the listing was the potential for after. So I think that, really at the beginning, it's not this isn't like a thing of like, oh, you just have to find something that nobody else has seen, right? I think that's a little bit of a misnomer with development. It's really more, everybody's seeing the same stuff. It's how do you make the best deal? What is it that you're seeing after? What's the exit? What's the process? That's going to separate you to getting those deals not only under contract, but making them successful.
No, I love it because I teach a lot of the folks in my mentorship programs how to see the potential. Don't just see the property.
Right.
See the land and see the future and what you can create,
right,
and how you can capture value that others miss.
That's the key, because I think what separates really good developers from, not good developers, or, the GC mind to the developer mind is seeing that potential and understanding the path to getting to that potential. And sometimes that means, and I've learned that, sometimes the hard way, sometimes that means the deal doesn't work where the numbers are based on your acquisition. Even if you think, oh, look how beautiful this can be, the numbers might just not work. And that's, I think, also, that's partly why I was saying the first time, don't try to go for that home run. In that process of learning, you're gonna get to your $1 million. You just gotta give it time, just like everything.
Absolutely, man. How do you find your subs, and how do you manage your projects to make sure they finish on time and on budget?
So subs, in my case, because I GC'd for 20 plus years, my subs are relationship based, right? These are guys and women that I've worked with for a long, long time. At the beginning in that process, it was just about word of mouth. You meet somebody, you start going through all of the, growing together, learning. So a lot of those subs now I'm bringing on the development end. That said, I think you know, the best advice I can give for finding subs is as you start getting into this world, good subs are always going to know other good subs.
Great point.
I mean, that's the key. So as soon as anybody, I mean, you're talking about even the guy that's just cleaning up, you know, frankly, even the company that's cleaning the toilet.
There we go.
I mean, if anybody's doing their job good, they're going to be surrounded by other people that are at that level. And I think that's the advice I would give. As soon as you meet an electrician, a plumber, a carpenter, anybody, and you feel like, hey, I like how that guy worked or woman worked, ask them, right? Hey, do you know a tiler? Hey, do you know an electrician? Hey, do you know a plumber? That's how you get that ball rolling, and that's how you're going to build those relationships, because people tend to be surrounded by people that make them better.
Great point, man. Birds of a feather flock together.
Exactly.
That's another way I've heard it said.
Exactly.
Awesome. How do you run your numbers for deals like this, Pablo?
So again, it's very similar to what I was saying about building up and really learning in the process, right? Partly, again, why you don't go for the home run at the beginning. So when you start at a smaller level, like something like this, you know, I'm going to start at the base level, which is where's my acquisition, right? And I'm going to start playing with that. So I'm going to say, for example, for this one, you know, it was on sale for X amount of dollars. So I said, well, what is the lowest that I think I could get this for? And I'm going to start there. Then I'm going to play out my construction costs, which for me, in my case, I learned a lot from the client-based side, the GC side.
Yes.
It's a little bit different on the development side, which you can learn, you know, as you like go. But I start plugging in that per square foot construction cost, back of the napkin, as they say, right? Sitting down with a cup of coffee and say, all right, what am I imagining here, right? Understanding your zoning, understanding what's your max that you can do. So you start putting together a plan, and you're really going to just start with that napkin construction cost. What's my acquisition cost? What's my development cost in terms of getting those approvals? All that stuff, easy to start. If you don't have the experience, easy to put those numbers in, just general, right? I mean, easy. Honestly, just you could Google it and say, you know, what's the rough cost of construction?
Or even ChatGPT these days.
ChatGPT these days.
Right.
I mean, there's so much information that gets the ball rolling, right? That's going to be your first. That's how I do it. It's how anybody does it, you know. And it's funny, even at this level, as I start moving up to bigger projects, I realized, you know, we're talking 10 units. You know, I was looking at a 20 unit. It's just the same thing. It's the same math, a little bit more zeros.
Right.
Same thing, right? So to me, it's put your acquisition, figure out how much roughly square footage you can develop on that land, put a price per square foot on that, you know, throw a percentage of soft costs in there. You're gonna quickly come to a number that says like, ooh, this looks nice, or stay away. The staying away is the hardest part. I've learned that the hard way.
Absolutely, man.
That's the hard part.
And the big piece is your exit, right? You got to look at what that exit number is so that you can make sure all of that works.
For sure. And the exit, you're just going to go off comps, obviously. It's, in a sense, the easiest one to like go out and look and just see what's on the market, you know, and figure out that exit. But I think that entrance fee also, you know, and that's another thing too, right? Is again about not going for home runs, right? I mean, you're not going to go from GCing or flipping to like running a $10 million development. You know, it's just not. It's not going to happen. You know,
it's a gradual process.
Gradual process. So I think that's where you start to learn, you know, how those numbers work when you can get it on a smaller level, right? So it's like 3 units. Like this is 3 units. All right, easy to go comp out 3 units, see what my exit in, and bring it to the back and see what my entrance and see if that's, you know, see if that's worth it.
Awesome. Has it been helpful working with my team and I on deal structuring and structuring the financing?
Yeah, I mean, working with you guys, working with Crowd has been amazing. I mean, for me, it's been like a stepping stone to learn a lot. I mean, from you, I've learned a lot. Feel the support. I think the biggest thing that I can say about you guys is it never feels like no. Even if we get to it and it doesn't work, it doesn't feel like no.
We work it and work it just like you work. Because I'm a developer as well, right? So I'm looking at it as if it's my deal to just figure out what angle we can play in order to put it together.
And that's what I love about you guys. And I think it's one of the ways that I work. That's what I was talking about with as you learn, right? The thing that really makes developers stand apart from others is the creativity, right? You got to be creative. You got to think outside of the box. when you're structuring these deals, when you're financing, and I think having a partner like you guys that also comes to it from that point of view, from your own experience, but also just the energy and the philosophy of, again, it's never no at the beginning. You might get to the end and it's like, it's not working, right? Well, fine. But to not feel like that door is closed from the beginning, it keeps the creative energy there. And with you, Rob, I feel like I can always call you and just be like, hey, I'm thinking about this. This seems crazy to me, but what do you think? And you're always like, I love it. I don't know if that will work, but I love it. Like that's the kind of energy you want, right? Because otherwise, you can't get your creative juices flowing if every time you say something, on the other end, the financing, which is it's at this moment, it's very tough, right?
Absolutely.
So you got to be more creative, you got to hustle more, and I think you guys are a great partner for that.
Appreciate that, Pablo. Couple questions left, just two.
Yeah.
One is, I really want to commend you on your creativity and your consistency in keeping your pipeline full. Do you feel that's been one of your competitive edges in the Somerville market?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, the edge that I've had is I will say in my case, it required taking a lot of risk. So a lot of financial, personal risk. I have always thought that, like, anything that you do, like, you got to lead and take that risk. And when you start taking that, people are going to follow. So I think my edge has been to like see sites. There's been a few sites that had challenges on them, whether they be zoning challenges, legal challenges, and feeling like, hey, I can solve this problem, right? And then putting my money where my mouth was to say, like, not only can I solve this, but I'm going to solve this. Sometimes that took a lot longer than what I expected, but ultimately solving those problems, I think that willingness to be creative, that willingness to think outside the box, I think is what sets me apart, at least in this market, because it's a tough market.
Yes, sir.
And then also the things for me that I think I'm learning as I continue to grow that I think are setting me apart is also
the willingness to be
wrong, right? I mean, sometimes one of the things that I think I'm entering right now, which is sometimes not every deal is exactly what you thought it was going to be. Sometimes you also lose, right? That's the game of development, and I think learning also how to lose and say, hey, you know what? If something doesn't feel like it feels like it's going down, you got to learn how to also say, I got to shift, right? I got to shift to something else.
Got to pivot.
I got to cut my losses, or I got to change the approach here.
Great point.
And I don't mean loss like, oh my God, I lost my shirt. That can happen too. I mean, it's like, this is not for the faint of heart. But also within a deal, right? Within a deal to say, like, I think I can do better, or you know what? I might lose a little bit here, but it's going to open up this door here. That to me is something that I'm learning that also I realize is setting me apart. So a lot of the counterparts that I encounter with, it's like, it's just like, I can't lose, I can't lose, I can't lose, I can't lose. Sometimes you keep banging your head. You feel like you're moving, but you're just stuck, So the only way forward and to grow is to keep moving forward and not get stuck. And so that's something that I try to set myself apart in that way.
I love it, man. It's that resilience that allows you to build the foundation and push through anything, right, Pablo? As you said, you might not lose your shirt, but you might have to make adjustments to at least capture and maintain some of your profits, to protect your profit.
Right.
Yep. Awesome. Last question is a two-part question. If you had to start all over today as a developer, what advice would you give the folks out there? And then the last question is, how can folks connect with you as far as what types of deals you're looking for right now?
Yeah. So on the second part of that, for deals that I'm looking for, I'm mostly interested in like land deals. So there could be a building on that. But I'm not interested in kind of renovation and add-on. I really love land deals because it allows my creativity and my team that have put together to kind of imagine something that's not there. I'm mostly looking at this point. I'm really trying to get more into like the 15, 20 plus units. This is a 3. We have another 10. I got another 8. So I'm trying to scale up in that way. Somerville, I really know Somerville, so if there's anybody out there that has something, if you got something in Somerville, I'm happy to see it. But anywhere really,
Awesome.
and then, what would I do differently? I mean, I think one of the things that I definitely, if I was starting over, and my advice really is try to build up a little bit more of a cushion at the beginning, right?
Yes.
I think that one of the things that I did, and I think in the net it's going to work out for me, but it took a lot, is that I felt like I saw opportunity. You know, I was taking on 4 entitlements.
Wow.
Almost overlapping.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And I think in that process for me, I realized that, yeah, maybe at the end, maybe I'm getting, you know, but there's something that you lose in that, which is also the ability to really, like, that's what I was saying at the beginning, don't go for the home run, right? Like one site and seeing that whole process through, and keeping that, you know, that sheet clean and being able to focus. I think that's like the biggest advice that I would give, because you don't want to get, you know, out ahead of your skis. And I think I realized too, there's always a deal out there, you know? So
Very
it's
true.
not like you see something, you're like, oh my God, that one is gonna be gone, right? I mean, if anything, if it's on the market, it's because something, you know, someone else didn't get it, you know what I mean? So it might still be good, but to me, it's like, I would give that advice. You know, go for one, focus on something that's within your scope that you can learn from, and don't try to do it all at once, you know, that it takes a lot, it's too much.
I heard a saying when I was younger, when I first started, this is a very experienced real estate operator. He said, the deal of a century, right? The deal of every 100 years comes around at least every 6 months.
Yeah.
If you're looking, right?
Yeah.
So like, there's always going to be great deals out there.
I agree.
Awesome, man. How can folks connect with you, Pablo?
Yes, my website is Mapu Development. That's my development
How do you spell
company.
it? Spell it out. We'll put it underneath on the video as well.
It's MAPU Development, Mapu.com. So you can get in touch with me there. You can get in touch with Rob if you got something. Yeah, he knows how to find me. But yeah, no, that's gonna be the best way.
Awesome, Pablo. This was great, man. Talk a little bit about this project, if you're okay with the acquisition price, financing structure, sellout, time frame. Just give us the rundown on this beautiful project at 181 Pearl Street.
Well, this is a great project, as you know, as kind of like a master class study in what everything that entails development is. So just a quick background on this. This used to be a commercial building, single story commercial.
Yep.
Single story commercial, and it was on sale on the market for $500. And the zoning here is MR3, so you're allowed to do 3 stories. And you can do mixed use here if you want, or you can do residential.
And you're going all residential?
Going all residential. On the first end, I acquired the property for $400, so I was able to, and I
great
did that.
Deal, man.
It was a great deal. It was a great deal.
What year was that?
That was 2023.
Love it.
2023, cash deal, and from there it took me, wait for it, it took me about a year, okay, to jump through all the hoops to be able to get something approved.
Welcome to development, man. That's what it takes, guys. You got to be patient.
You got to be patient. I mean, it's you really have to be patient. You have to believe in what it is that you're doing. Depending on the city, Somerville's really, really tough, but just generally, you got to be patient. Now, cool thing, and this is for also like for people that are just coming up, what that allowed me, that entitlement, was that I increased the value of the land, essentially doubled it.
You went from 400 to 800.
Exactly.
Just with pushing paper.
Just
Remember,
with
that's
pushing
the beauty
paper.
of development. It took some time, took energy, took skill, which you have.
Yep. Patience, skill, relationships. Took some money, obviously.
That's some money. There you go. Yeah.
But you know, you gotta spend money to make money. So that doubled the value of the land. And actually, I then exited that. So I was able to find a group to exit that, give up the control of it. But I was exiting there with like a nice profit.
Correct. And you stayed on as a GC.
And stayed on as a GC, right? So there's groups out there that will do that. You gotta figure out the deal structure.
JV structure. There we
go.
go.
Exactly. So it was a nice start for this project. And then another patient. Then, as we were getting ready for construction, some other things came out from the city that they said, you know what, you actually need another variance. That's what I was telling you about the neighbor here.
Yep.
And that took 5 months, okay, to get. So going back to patience, and also these are, for me, it's like I had 3 other projects in Somerville. You can't start burning bridges. You can't start screaming. So that kind of delayed everything on this project. And then we started getting into construction, and then, you know, I went to you and I said, hey, I think I want to buy this project back, right?
Yep.
Because based on my other portfolio, other stuff we were doing, I said, hey, I can buy this back. If you guys can support me, I can regain, you know, some of what I gave away, you know, in the JV, and take full control. You guys backed me up, and we went. I mean, you were joking. The minute that we closed, the next day we had a floor going up.
I'm telling you, man, I love it. Yep. That's
So
the way it should be.
now we got 3 units. We're looking, I think, to fully exit this by October. We're looking at a 2.3 million exit. That's our ideal. Right now, you know, again, the financing, the structure on this is a little bit different, but just general numbers. This is like, you know, about $850,000 construction cost, and we were, you know, selling it at around $850. So all in, somewhere around like 1.7 with an exit at 2.3. That's rough numbers.
Correct.
And that's on the back side, right? Because remember, on the front side on the land deal, I made some. So this is one of those. I mean, you're talking 2023. It's 2026. You're talking 3 years that something has been in my mind, on my sheet, in some form or another. Really, really hard psychologically, but this will be in the net like a great project, and a great one to learn about that patience and that, right? So that's what I mean. Okay, you break that out over 3 years. Sure, maybe you need more. That's why I had other, you know, things in the pipeline. But again, not going for that home run, right? It was like something that seemed manageable, and I cut my teeth on it.
Absolutely,
you know,
man.
so that's where we're at with this one, and yeah, no parking, 3 units, 1 2-bedroom, 2 1-bedrooms. You know, we got Sarma down the street. This nice.
That's one of my favorite restaurants in the whole region.
Really, really
Great
good
spot,
restaurant.
man.
Yeah,
I love it.
So you got the bike path. You got public transportation close. You got Union Square, and yeah, it's a nice spot. It's gonna stand out in the corner too, and also for for your portfolio, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
it's a nice spot that people are gonna drive by forever.
Correct, man. I love it, Pablo.
Yeah.